Welcome back to FlyEaglesFly News, where we dive into everything Eagles and keep you up to speed with every twist, turn, and highlight from this season. The journey so far has been nothing short of exhilarating, especially when you watch the way Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are closing in on a monumental milestone that every receiver dreams of: 5,000 receiving yards. A.J. is just under 40 yards away from crossing that historic line, while Devontae is slightly behind, but the sense of anticipation is electric. It's a unique feeling, seeing players on the verge of something truly memorable. Moments that make you pause and realize that what you're witnessing is a chapter in history being written live. This isn't merely about numbers or statistics, it's about dedication, consistency, and the resilience required to reach such heights. Each catch, each route run, and each drive contributes to a narrative that spans more than a season. It reflects careers built on effort, strategy, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Watching these two receivers dominate the field, knowing they are approaching such a rare accomplishment, gives fans a sense of pride and excitement, as if witnessing the continuation of a legacy that Eagles wideouts have been chasing for decades. It's a reminder that milestones carry weight not because they are numerical targets, but because they represent the culmination of years of hard work, teamwork, and the ability to perform under pressure, game after game, beyond personal achievements. This season has also brought plenty of debate and controversy, particularly around certain tactical decisions that have sparked heated discussions. The tush-push has become one of those plays that divides opinion, a moment that reflects the tension between tradition and adaptation. Some argue that it's a relic of the past, that the play's effectiveness has waned as defenses adjust and offensive lines evolve, yet others, including those on the field like Cam Jurgens, see it as a vital piece of the team's identity. A play that, when executed correctly, can still change the dynamics of a game. It's fascinating to observe how football constantly negotiates between what has worked historically and what is demanded in the present. Plays that were once automatic successes now require recalibration, adjustments, and an acute awareness of both risk and reward. The quarterback is always under pressure. Injuries reshape the roster, and defensive strategies evolve. Yet there remains a natural instinct to rely on familiar schemes that have previously brought results. It's this delicate balance between trusting proven strategies and embracing innovation that creates the layered drama that makes football endlessly compelling. Off the field, the narrative continues to unfold in ways just as engaging. Reactions from opposing players, such as recent comments from Josh Johnson, create additional layers of intrigue. Johnson, a veteran who has spent much of his career as a backup and journeyman quarterback, suddenly becomes a voice challenging one of the league's most successful franchises. Watching someone with his background assert themselves in a high-profile context is a reminder of how complex the ecosystem of respect, perception, and reputation is in professional football. The Eagles, with their combination of seasoned veterans and emerging stars, have consistently demonstrated that not every slight requires a response. Still, these moments highlight the ongoing negotiations of power, respect, and recognition that exist beyond the lines on the field. Words carry weight, especially when aimed at a team that has repeatedly proven its dominance, and they influence not only narratives, but also fan perception, media discussion, and internal team focus. Returning to the field, the offensive coordination and execution have been a fascinating study in strategy and adaptability. Watching the offensive line and players like Cam Jurgens navigate the challenges of plays like the tush-push is a testament to the complexity of the sport. Football is a game where milliseconds and inches matter, where preparation and split-second decision-making are as crucial as physical ability. Fans often focus on the visible outcomes, the yard gained or lost, but behind each play is a symphony of communication, trust, and judgment. The quarterback, the line, and the running backs must operate in unison, adjusting dynamically to shifting defensive formations and in-game variables. Every motion, every subtle shift, and every choice carries consequences that reverberate through the entire drive. Seeing Jurgens coordinate with his teammates, execute under pressure, and adjust in real time illuminates why football is as cerebral as it is physical. It is a game defined not only by strength and speed, but also by intellect, preparation, and resilience. The interplay between tradition and creativity extends beyond singular plays, especially when considering the contributions of players like Saquon Barkley or Tank Bigsby. Each handoff, each read, each decision to pass or run represents a calculated gamble, A moment of risk balance with potential reward, while fans often gravitate toward flashy, highlight-worthy moments. There is a distinct artistry in executing fundamental plays with precision, watching Barkley carve through defensive lines, seeing blocking schemes unfold perfectly, and recognizing the timing that allows each play to succeed demonstrates the subtle genius of well-executed football, even as strategies evolve. Debates about how best to leverage talent and adapt to team strengths remain central to the sport. Football demands constant learning, analysis, and adjustment. It is never static, always requiring an awareness of both your team and your opposition. Milestones, tactical evolution, and player dynamics naturally intertwine with fan engagement. Supporters invest deeply not only in the outcomes of games, but also in the narrative arcs of players, the evolution of strategy, and the debates that arise after each matchup. The pursuit of 5,000 yards, the scrutiny of the tush-push, and reactions from opponents all combine to form a season rich with stories, each contributing to the emotional and intellectual involvement of fans. Football is a sport that thrives on these layers, where every yard, decision, and comment resonates far beyond the immediate action. The Eagles' season exemplifies this beautifully, showing how individual brilliance and collective strategy intersect in ways that make following the team a multi-dimensional experience. The journey of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown toward personal milestones while the team navigates tactical debates illustrates the intricate relationship between individual achievement and collective performance. Each play, adjustment, and interaction with opponents reveals the depth of preparation, the pressure of expectations, and the resilience required at every level. Fans witnessing these moments gain insight into both the visible and invisible aspects of the game. The physical prowess, the mental acuity, and the constant negotiations that define professional football. The complexity of football extends beyond Sundays, encompassing the why and how of each play, the decisions that drive success, and the adaptability required to maintain excellence. Shifting the focus from team dynamics and on-field milestones to broader league discussions. One topic that has generated a great deal of debate this season is the way Pro Bowl selections are handled. Fans watching the Eagles, or any team for that matter, often notice a stark discrepancy between actual performance and the recognition that players receive. Quan Mitchell is a prime example of this phenomenon. His impact on the field has been undeniable, consistently shutting down opposing plays, forcing quarterbacks to adjust their strategy, and providing a level of consistency that very few can match. Yet, despite his elite level of play, fan-driven voting systems have overlooked him, leaving him absent from top lists and honors where his presence is more than justified. This situation highlights a persistent tension in the league between merit-based acknowledgement and popularity-driven recognition. The Pro Bowl, once a showcase for elite talent going head-to-head, has morphed into a spectacle that emphasizes fan engagement and spectacle over actual performance, leaving passionate fans feeling frustrated when players who quietly dominate games are left unrecognized. The issue extends beyond mere voting mechanics. It reflects a larger conversation about perception versus reality in the NFL. Fans often engage with highlight reels, media narratives, and popular names, which can obscure the true complexity of a player's contribution. Mitchell's style of play is methodical and intelligent, the kind of work that quietly dictates the flow of games. Without generating flashy moments, casual observers might miss how his presence alters opposing quarterbacks' decisions, how he disrupts offensive schemes, and how his defensive awareness shifts the momentum in ways that don't always appear on the stat sheet. In contrast, more visible players or those with established reputations might receive recognition disproportionate to their current contributions. The disconnect between perception and impact creates frustration not just for the players, but for informed fans who track every nuance of the game. Watching a player like Mitchell excel while being overlooked is a reminder that football is about more than the highlights. It's about strategic influence, intelligence, and subtle excellence that often goes unnoticed by the casual eye. This misalignment between performance and recognition is amplified by the evolution of the Pro Bowl itself. Once an arena of high-stakes, full-contact competition, it has become a low-risk, highly commercialized event. Players no longer need to put themselves in harm's way to demonstrate their abilities, and the emphasis has shifted toward entertainment and protecting reputations rather than showcasing peak athletic performance. While this approach may make sense from a business perspective, it does little to honor the game's true competitive spirit. Fans who follow every snap, every matchup, and every defensive adjustment understand how critical these contributions are. Yet the spectacle prioritizes crowd appeal over genuine excellence. This shift highlights a broader challenge within the NFL, balancing fan engagement, marketability, and the integrity of the sport. The result is a system that often values optics and popularity over substance and skill, creating tension between what is celebrated publicly and what is actually achieved on the field. Fans' frustration with this system is compounded by the fact that the voting process can be easily skewed by casual observers. Many participate in the process without fully grasping the intricacies of a player's role or the subtle ways in which they influence the outcome of a game. Voters often base decisions on reputation, media visibility, or highlight reels rather than in-depth performance analysis. Consequently, players who excel in less conspicuous ways, like Minshew, are undervalued, while those with greater visibility or media presence receive recognition that may not align with their current impact. This dynamic underscores a critical aspect of fan culture in the NFL. Engagement is high, but the understanding of player contribution can vary greatly for dedicated followers who appreciate the strategic depth of football. It highlights a persistent disconnect between informed analysis and popular opinion. The contrast between celebrating visible milestones and recognizing subtle defensive excellence further emphasizes this divide. While a receiver approaching 5,000 yards receives attention, accolades, and fanfare, the equally critical contributions of defenders or players operating in less glamorous positions often go unnoticed. Minshew's work exemplifies this challenge, as his coverage, positioning, and ability to disrupt offensive schemes are essential to team success, but frequently invisible to casual viewers. It is a reminder that football excellence exists in multiple dimensions, not all of which are immediately apparent, and that recognition systems relying on fan engagement may struggle to capture the full scope of a player's impact. For fans invested in every detail of the game, this discrepancy can be frustrating, fueling discussions about fairness, merit, and how the league measures success. Beyond the mechanics of recognition, there is a broader conversation about respect, perception, and narrative within the league. Players who perform consistently at a high level, like Minshew, often have to overcome cultural and systemic biases that prioritize highlight-worthy moments over intelligent, methodical play. Football is a sport in which the unseen can be just as decisive as the spectacular. The ability to read a play, anticipate the opponent, and adjust dynamically is as crucial to winning games as raw athleticism or show-stopping moments. Yet, the current culture often elevates visibility over influence, creating a divide between what is celebrated and what is truly impactful. For fans and analysts alike, this reality is a key factor in ongoing debates about awards, recognition, and the values the league chooses to highlight. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. South Philadelphia is buzzing with whispers that could redefine the Eagles' season. Sources close to the team suggest that star wide receiver A.J. Brown has finally broken his silence, delivering comments in the locker room that left teammates and staff stunned. While the exact words remain under wraps, insiders describe the atmosphere as tense and electric, with the normally composed squad visibly rattled. The speculation is mounting that Brown's remarks hint at deeper frustrations, possibly tied to team management, play calling, or even locker room dynamics. Observers note that the Eagles have faced inconsistency on and off the field, but few anticipated that internal tensions might be spilling into the open in such a dramatic way. Rumors now swirl that this could signal a turning point, whether in morale, strategy, or even player movement before the next trade window. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting every snippet of information, debating what this revelation could mean for Philadelphia's championship aspirations. Some insiders suggest that Brown's assertiveness might inspire teammates to step up, while others warn it could exacerbate existing conflicts. The timing is particularly intriguing, as the Eagles' season has been marked by flashes of brilliance intertwined with puzzling struggles. Could Brown's candidness ignite a new sense of purpose or spark a crisis that the coaching staff struggles to contain? Despite the uncertainty, one thing is clear: A.J. Brown's voice carries weight far beyond his position on the field. Whether this moment becomes a rallying cry or a point of division, the city of Philadelphia will be watching closely, hungry for signs of how the team will respond in a sport defined by momentum and morale. A single locker room revelation has the potential to ripple across the entire organization. As speculation mounts, one thing remains undeniable: South Philly has never felt this charged before, and the Eagles' next moves may prove decisive for the rest of the season. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.